Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm just having a little bit of a play in my sketchbook. This is the Stillman and Bird Nova series Tone Tan sketchbook, and I'm really just trying to love it. I've been trying a bunch of different things in it the last couple of months and just trying to figure out what it is I want to use them for. So I had this book of stickers. I love stickers, but I don't find that I use them very well. And one of the reasons I don't use these stickers too often is because they have a border and it's kind of a pain to have to trim them out, especially where you have tiny little details like the butterfly antlers. So I thought, I wonder if I can use these stickers, use these that have kind of that beige background, and then add pastel over them and kind of over the edges and kind of do a collage slash painting with them. I don't know. I'm just going to play with that. And this little piece, this little demo here took about 20 minutes, probably less with all the hemming and hawing and farting around I was doing. But still, it was kind of fun. I'm using the Marie's soft pastels. I got these into review. I'm not calling this a review because I haven't really used them enough, but they remind me an awful lot of the old Winsor & Newton pastels, if you remember those. Very much similar in the feel of the firmness and the dryness of them. Kind of like a Rembrandt, kind of that medium, not super soft like a Schmincke or a Sennelier, but not hard like a New Pastel or some of the square pastels. It's just kind of in the middle. Not quite as waxy feeling as the like the Soho pastels. I feel like those are a little bit drier and waxier. Sometimes with with some of these brands that aren't from the big Western companies, they'll be private labeled and you'll have the same products from a couple different brands. So I was wondering if these would be the same as the Soho ones, but they don't appear to be to me. But and I'm working on a smooth paper, which isn't what I typically use with pastels. So I think they would even be more vibrant on a textured paper. But like I said, I'm throwing everything at the sketchbook because I really want to love it. I want to love it. I still do not love the sketchbook, but I'm still adding to it. I love the color. I love the color of the paper, but it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like thick enough. I think because I have the Strathmore Tone Tan mixed media paper, and I did actually buy a larger pad of that so I could stitch it into my own perfect sketchbook. But I was hoping this was going to be more like that, and it just didn't meet my expectations. But that's not really the fault of that paper. You know what I mean? It's a little bit thicker than the Strathmore Tone Tan drawing paper, and I thought it would feel a lot thicker, a lot more different. It just doesn't. But anyway, I'm playing with these pastels on this smooth paper, which isn't ideal. But I just kind of wanted to see what I could do if I started with some stickers for a base. This isn't going to be a gorgeous painting. I'm just going to, if you want to click away, feel free. It's not going to be gorgeous, but it was fun to play. I put the sky in, and now I'm just kind of scribbling in some bushes in the background. This is a quick project. I am time-lapsing it, but not very much. I've doubled the time, but it's just an experiment, really. I think I need to try these pastels on like a sanded paper or a velour paper. They're fine. They're fine. If you want a medium hard pastel, I think they're gonna do the trick. They are marketed under the Marie's brand, but I think that the Marie's brand is more of like, I feel like they just license that name out now, because I have some pastels that are by Charvin, and then they were released with the Marie's brand on there. And so I think it's like, I think there are some original Marie's products. Like I have the old Marie's, well, I learned to paint on the old Marie's Chinese watercolors, and I bet their Chinese watercolors are probably still authentic, but there's so many kind of like cheaper products under the Marie's line that you can find them in a lot of other different brands. So I don't know what's up with that company. But anyways, these were from Lightwish on Amazon. And I don't even know if they put the word Marie's in their listing or not. They also sell the Marie's Master watercolors, which are quite nice. They're really nice. They're so much nicer than their budget Marie's paints you get in sets from like Jerry's Autorama. So I do not know what's going on with this brand. I feel like it licenses its name out to different companies to use, but I don't know. I'm not in the know. But I was putting some hollyhocks in here with some pastels just to, I don't know, add a little bit of scale. Like I said, not really worried about much, just playing. The thing I have behind the page, because pastels can get really messy, a lot of materials can get really messy, and if you're working in a sketchbook and you go out to the edge, it can like stick your pages together. So that's just a sheet of plastic. It's from a marker set. I think an Ohuhu marker set. They come with these plastic sheets in every set, so you can use them in your sketchbook so they don't bleed through your markers don't bleed through the next page. But this one's a little bit bigger than that sketchbook, so it's perfect for keeping gouache or pastel or whatever from seeping over the edge if I don't feel like taping it off, and I usually don't feel like taping it off. That's a lot of work. That's wasting tape. That's not my MO. I'm able to layer these up though, even though the paper is really slick. I don't know if slick is the right word, but it's very smooth. It's kind of like cardstock, you know, that smoothness, not quite as thick as cardstock, but it's like that kind of finish. It's a mixed media paper. And I'm able to layer up these pastels just fine, which is kind of surprising for a pastel that's not super soft. Usually you start off with your harder pastels and you layer up softer ones as you go. But these are in the middle, and they seem to be doing just fine. The colors are saturated. I can't remember if there are pigment numbers with these or not, because I did this like months ago this summer, just fooling around. Look, I have a tan. I don't have a tan now. It's October. But back then when I made that video, I had a tan. I'm actually getting ready to back up a bunch of footage on my computer, and I know if I only back up my final videos, and I just scrap all the raw stuff because I'm never going to go back to it. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was my little sticker experiment. Maybe somebody would get an idea from it, because I figure, you know, I'm finding something. The longer I've been on YouTube, it's been almost 15 years, I've learned that you never know what's going to do well on YouTube. But the thing that seems to do well on my channel is ideas. Like, there's an idea, like, hey, what if we took paper, we made beads, and then we coated them in embossing powder, and we made faux Pandora beads. That's probably my most popular video ever. It's taking those ideas, like, well, what if I started with a sticker and then I painted around it? Can I, you know, what if, you know, what if I use this paper for that? And I feel like those little kind of casual experiments do a little bit better, because when I look at my most popular videos, they tend to be more casual experiences, or casual experiments. And sometimes that's nice, I think, because it's less overwhelming. You know, you may be thinking, oh, I'm a card maker, but I have stickers and I have a sketchbook, or I have an art journal. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll put my stickers down first and then start building a scene around it. And I think that on YouTube, we're so distracted. There's so many things going on to take our attention, and maybe we're just like turning it on while we eat our lunch, or, you know, kind of decompress from the day. You don't want to do a big project. You don't want to have a big ordeal, but a little idea, a little spark that can, you know, stoke the embers a little bit in your creative mind, that can get you thinking and planning a project that you might want to make. I think that's valuable. I think that's valuable because a lot of times we don't want to just recreate what somebody else has done. I mean, that's a good way to learn, but I think a lot of times is we just need an idea on how to use our stuff. And this is an idea on how to use your stuff, and you don't have to have pastels. You need paper, you need stickers. Beyond that, you can use markers, you could use watercolors, you could use a myriad of different things. Here I'm going to go in with some pencils. I did spray that. You may notice the paper is a little bit more saturated looking. When you spray fixative on your pastels, it kind of makes the chalkiness disappear, and it makes the colors darker and sometimes more vibrant. Sometimes they can disappear depending on how dark the paper is you're working on. If this was on black paper and I sprayed it, the colors would disappear a bit, but on white paper they become darker and more saturated. On this tan paper, it's somewhere in between. I do like tan paper because I find that it's a nice middle of the road color. It's like you've got your middle values in there. Now here I'm just taking some pencils and just drawing some outlines, making some marks. Just it's kind of a throwaway piece, right? It's just kind of an experiment. So I figured, what the heck? I'm just going to try doodling and see how that works. And, you know, as a sketchbook page, I'm not sure I'm in love with it, but if this was a greeting card and I added a sentiment to that, I think that would be kind of cool. You know, I think that would look really kind of neat. And then you could, I would probably you definitely put some fixative on it if you were going to do this technique on a greeting card. But another thing you could do was you could emboss a piece of clear acetate and you could put that on top. and it would just be kind of like another cool look. I don't know. I always think there's different fun things that we can do, and sometimes we just need to see our supplies put in different combinations and used in different ways. And when you don't have the energy to make a mess in your own studio, watching somebody on YouTube make a mess in their studio and waste their supplies or use their supplies can be inspiring and can give you an idea of how something might go before you have to put your own time in. Now, I'm using the colored pencils to cover up some of the little sticker border there. I don't know how successful it is, but you know, honestly, I think that has some potential to be a cool idea for a greeting card in an art journal page. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I do appreciate you watching this video. And as always, till next time, happy crafting.